As with all of our presentations here at Railroads University, we like to begin by acknowledging that we are located on the traditional lands of the Kasepsum and Lekwungen families. There has been a long, long history of teaching and learning and gathering on these lands, centuries past, happening present day, and will continue far into the future. So we are so grateful to have the opportunity to live, learn, and work on the traditional lands of the Kasepsum and Lekwungen families. My name is Selena Kunar, and I'm an education advisor here at Railroads University. And I am so excited to be with Dr. Robert Mittelman, Acting Dean of the Faculty of Management, as well as the Co-Director of the School of Business, and Calvin Roberts, Associate Director of Professional and Continuing Studies, to explore this exciting program. Thank you both for being here, and we'll hear from you soon. So while the introductions start coming in, I'll explore how we're going to spend the rest of our time together today. Next, we're going to move into a pretty brief exploration of the Railroads University experience, move into a program overview, and cap off with an application process and requirement walkthrough. Of course, we will leave time at the end of today's session for any questions that have come up. So here you can see a few photos of what we're very lucky to have our campus look like relatively year-round. So in the top photo here, you see our Hatley Castle. Close by, we have our Japanese gardens. And not too far at all, we have our Esquimalt Lagoon. Well, we're so lucky to have this beautiful physical space. We've actually been moving in online learning and providing education online for over 25 years as well. So we are so excited that our classrooms are not only hosted in this beautiful space, but virtually as well. So with that, I will pass the phone over to Rob to tell us more about this program.
Thank you very much, Selena. Like you said, it's definitely turbulent times, and an education in something like corporate social innovation could not be more timely. We're dealing not just with COVID, we're dealing with issues of racial justice, climate action, and so many other challenges. And it's important to recognize, and even as someone who runs a business school, that business has played a significant role in creating some of the problems we face today. And what we can't do is continue to use the same methods and the same tools that were used to create the problem to solve the problem. And so we have to change how business operates. We have to reimagine the corporation. We have to reimagine capitalism as a whole, and corporate social innovation plays an important role in this. And so as businesses are increasingly challenged to evaluate and respond to risks and opportunities that are financially material to their core business related to such issues like climate change, resource scarcity, economic inequality, and to do so in a more connected, complex, and uncertain world. And really this requires innovative responses that recognize this inextricable link between business and society and the environment. So we're not just talking about socially desirable activities designed to manage a business's reputation and avoid litigation through employee engagement programs and donations. We're going beyond something like corporate philanthropy. We're going beyond corporate social responsibility and into corporate social innovation. Now, corporate social innovation requires leveraging all of a company's assets, people, supply chains, R&D, product and development, through selling new products to new markets that benefit people who are traditionally excluded from that market, or hiring people facing barriers to employment and buying from sustainable suppliers. CSI requires a strategic shift in how business is done and how we define value. And we're seeing increased pressure on the private sector from investors, from employees, and from customers, not only to avoid doing harm, but to also contribute to positive social impact. And this pressure is only growing in spaces where government has limited capacity or limited will to respond to social issues, such as refugees and climate change. Next slide. Thanks. And so we look at the potential of corporate social innovation. And the reason why corporations can play such an important role in solving these problems is because, yes, they do have the expertise and capabilities to test innovations. They have the resource capabilities to scale social innovations through customer networks, supply chains that can be leveraged to distribute social innovations. And increasingly, the private sector has motivation to act. Um, Stakeholders, consumers, investors, communities, employees. And so there's a real opportunity and a lot of potential in corporate social innovation. But we also face a number of challenges in implementing something like corporate social innovation. There is a significant disconnect between theory and practice, and so maybe everything I've said so far sounds great, but it shouldn't come off as being Pollyanna. It's something easy to do and implement. There are significant challenges. We face internal barriers to innovation. So there are corporate immune systems that kill anything that is new. Silos exist within organizations that prevent work towards the same goal, lack of funding to dedicate to innovation, risk aversion among some organizations that is inconsistent with the learning mindset required for innovation, the lack of incentive system and others. Um, Included in there would be a commitment to an old way of doing business, to the primacy of shareholder value, for instance. There are also external barriers to innovation and corporate social innovation, so cultural differences across different sectors that make working together difficult because there's a lack of understanding of the problem. And so in this case, excuse me, these are some very complex problems that require partnerships and collaborations and the need to work together. There are also systems level barriers to innovation, and many of the social and environmental challenges facing the private sector cannot be addressed by an individual organization. And it requires collective action at a systems level. And there are a number of factors there that we have to address. And so that's what this program is going to explore. And so, who is it for? We've written here a passionate individual who thinks and acts like an entrepreneur, working inside a major corporation or organization, who is looking to incorporate social concerns and solutions into their organization, whether that's in government, in business, or the nonprofit sector. The program presents an entrepreneur perspective, recognizing that most innovations were actually founded by entrepreneurs. So those are employees of companies working diligently and through the bureaucracy, and not entrepreneurs who have startup corporations that we often associate with innovation. That said, this does not mean that you need to work in a company for this program to be relevant. Indeed, many of our students in the past cohorts are working for nonprofits, governments, and social entrepreneurs. What they share is a common interest in understanding the potential for the corporate sector to lead and contribute to social innovation. So, for example, if you're a nonprofit leader, you might be interested in learning how to leverage corporate partners to achieve your own scaling goals. Partnership with corporate sector and nonprofits is increasingly important as a way to achieve social impact. So the program invites you to consider several different perspectives, from understanding who you are at an individual level as a change maker, to a member of a team, the organization as a whole, and beyond the organization to work with other organizations across the network to address systems level problems. And so the program overview, a graduate certificate is typically, and in this case is 3 courses, that's 9 credits. The first is the Foundations of Corporate Social Innovation. The second is Design Thinking for Social Innovation. And the third is Measuring and Scaling Social Impact. And while this framework is often presented as linear, it's important to recognize that in practice, these steps are iterative. And so in that identify stage, that first stage, the Foundations course introduces you to core concepts in social innovation and explores the process of identifying social issues and how to co-create solutions. The Design Thinking for Corporate Social Innovation course, of course, teaches design thinking, and you learn to use design thinking to navigate real-world challenges in a professional context. And then in the third and fourth stage, the third course is in Measuring and Scaling Social Impact. We talk about how you take what you've created and scale or spread it to serve more people, And in many of these cases, the more, the better. And so some examples, here are some examples of student projects. In this program, we explore strategies for designing, validating, and scaling social innovations that have the potential to generate value for both business and society. Students walk away with an expertise in navigating social innovation challenges that they face in the workplace and in other professional contexts. For those students who wish to do so, you can carry the same theme and you pick your idea and you can carry it all the way through the certificate program. And in this way, you can treat the program as an incubator, from co-creating the solution to piloting, testing, validating, and learning how to scale the project by the end. Now, you're also welcome to take individual courses, and we've had students from other graduate programs join us. I'm so proud of the projects that our students have created in this program, some of which students have gone on to share with the organizations and help inform their work. So these are just some of the examples that students have worked on in this program. And so yes, these are all driven by individual student interest. And there is also plenty of group work to go along with that. So addressing mental health challenges among children, scaling access to fresh, affordable food in the North, scaling an education program to address the opioid crisis. And so others like, how can a credit union make a difference in the lives of children struggling with mental health challenges? How an engineering firm can advance the UN SDGs. I saw a question pop up. I'm just going to open up the chat here on my screen. Can you pick your project topic? Yes, Ryan. It's very important that you care passionately about this stuff. So while the skills and ideas are transferable from project to project, I would encourage you to work on something that resonates with you, resonates with your organization, and where you want to put in a lot of your time and effort. In terms of flexibility, as I mentioned, you can take these individual courses on their own, one at a time, to suit your own schedule. You can also use these courses to ladder into and or complete a number of our existing master's programs. So you can do an MBA in executive management with a specialization in corporate social innovation. This can be a part of your master's in global management. It can be incorporated into your Master's of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies or your MA in Tourism Management. So that's probably a pretty quick overview of the program.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rob. Yes, we'll dive into the application overview now. Here at Railroads, we have two admission pathways, our standard admissions as well as our flexible admissions. So standard admissions requires a completion of either an undergraduate 4-year or comparable degree or a graduate degree in arts, business, or environmental studies, or other acceptable for recognized experience in leadership, management, communication, and training, marketing, or consulting roles. To look at flexible admissions can also be conceptualized as the professional pathway. So for those learners who may not have a traditional academic background, but have been working in their field for a set period of time and have acquired that lived experience that is so relevant and appreciated in our classrooms. So for flexible admissions, we normally require at least 5 years of relevant full-time work experience. We do assess our flexible admissions on a case-by-case basis. So if you're interested in learning more about what flexible admissions could mean for you, please connect with our offices as we are more than happy to explore that with you. So here we have a quick snapshot of the application process. Our website is a wonderful resource as you explore putting these supporting documents together. For example, our personal statement. If you head to our website, we have some guiding questions as to what you should look at answering in that document. For the detailed resume, we have some tips and tricks as to how that resume can be structured to ensure all of your accomplishments shine bright. And for official transcripts and 2 letters of reference, we have some guidance as to how those documents can be submitted to our offices. So upcoming intakes, we are just around the corner to the start of this program. So if you have any questions about our upcoming intakes, please connect with us. We can provide you with that information. On this same slide, you can see exactly who you should be connecting with. So Lisa is just one beautiful example of the enrollment team members we have here on our campus, eager to chat with you about this program or any others. So you can connect with Lisa and her team at learn.more@royalroads.ca or with our international team at learn.more.international@royalroads.ca. This is a great time for me to mention that here at Royal Roads, we submit applications on an ongoing basis. So that means we aren't closing the doors on our application deadline and then taking a look at all of the applications that have come in. Instead, as our online applications are submitted and supporting documents find their way to our offices, we're able to adjudicate your file and let you know about your seat in the program. So that said, we highly recommend getting your online application in sooner than later and doing your best to start moving through submitting some of those supporting documents. Financial aid. Of course, financial aid is an important piece of your continued academic journey. So we are so lucky to have a financial aid and awards office here on our campus, equipped with specialists who have their fingertips on resources available to you, both internally and externally as well. So if you'd like to learn more about loans, awards, research scholarships, or other types of funding, please connect with our financial aid and awards specialist. Here on this slide, we have their website noted as well as their direct phone lines. They are very excited to hear from all of you. And with that, we have come to the end of the presentation portion of our webinar today.